And I think there's going to be some really great shows of athleticism today.
Okay, so we're going to do that again. Okay. So they're not going to be able to give us the horses. Okay, so this is the schooling, so we can always look at that. That's the schooling. And these are the two horses. So this one had one knockdown, this one had a knockdown on refusal. Klondike. These two, Mexico. Karela and Klondike. It's a max score, so they're gonna point at us. We're gonna do the same thing over again. Get started. Let me get my. I was losing my voice out there in the bonus round. That's what I was doing. Yeah. I was gargling with it actually. Seriously.
Are you sick or you just?
No, it's just it's yell. Probably
yeah. Are we live? When did they tell us we were live?
If you say anything, they'll come up and say you're live. They're coming into the arena. God damn, I can't even see that. Let's bring this close. I do. Oh wait, here, course maps here.
Дорогие друзья, начинаем соревнования по верховой езде, смешанной эстафете, в программе финала Кубка мира по современному пятиборью.
Dear friends, we are now beginning the mixed relay riding discipline at Modern Pentathlon World Cup Final.
We're about ready to start. Here we are live from Minsk, Belarus, here at the World Cup Final. There's a mixed relay event. I'm Rob Stull, and I'm joined with two-time Olympian and the star of the U.S. team, Margot Isaacson.
Hey Rob, it's great to be here. As you all can see, it's a beautiful day here in Belarus. The venues are absolutely incredible, and the first team is in the arena with Mexico.
And we have for Mexico, Mayan Oliver and Alvaro Sandoval. Mayan Oliver is up. And
over fence number 3, on to fence number 4. So far, so good. I believe her horse had one knockdown in the test round. We'll see how well she can ride this horse here today.
Yeah, the group of horses that Mexico drew is Karela and Klondike. They did pretty good in the schooling. We had one rail down, and then one of the other horses had one rail and a refusal. So we'll see how they're going to ride this piece.
Looks a little slow, but so far so good. She seems really quiet. She's into the transition box, and her teammate is off.
So we've got Alvaro Sandoval on course. The Mexicans train with the group called Estado Mayor, which is the president's bodyguard. It's a great place to ride in Mexico. And I think, Margot, you've had an opportunity to train with them.
I have, actually. The Mexicans are really good friends of mine. They're all amazing athletes, so welcoming and so kind. We've had a lot of competitions there, and of course, it's just south of our border, so we're there quite frequently.
The challenge here today, ladies and gentlemen, is the jumps are set at maximum height. There's 6 fences out there that are at 120 centimeters, which is just about 4 feet. They're big fences, and they're awesome horses, actually. That looks like a good round for
Mexico.
We'll see what the time comes up. I'm not sure what the time on course, what the judges will provide. Our vantage point is basically the television screen here.
It looked a little slow to me, but again, we'll have to wait and see what the time allowed is. You know, they kept all the obstacles up. They didn't have any refusals, so I'd say all in all, they'd probably be happy with that ride. Looks like a total score of 300. So the time must not be very tight.
That's great. So they're going to start us off with a clean round, 300 pentathlon points, which is perfect. And that's going to bring in the next team. This is going to be, we're going to stay south of the border, and we've got the team from Argentina.
Pamela Zapata is one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet in your life. I've known her since I started doing pentathlon. She and her brother and her sister actually compete as well, and they're such a kind family, great athletes, and really a joy to see.
He cheaped into that fence there. Riding on defense number 3, he's got him back under control.
You know, something I've noticed from riding the European horses versus riding American horses is that usually they require a little bit more contact. She seems like she has gotten a little slow. You can see the horse kind of looking scopy before the fence. She needs to really keep her leg on and keep contact. But she made it through the course clean, and her teammate now is about to go over his first fence. I would really suggest keeping my leg on this horse.
So we've got Leandro Silva on course. Oh, he has a stop.
And
That's
a
not.
stop.
That is not good.
You know, you can see usually over the first fence, that'll tell you a lot about how the horse is going to react. Usually they'll pick up along the course, but if you go into the first fence and you don't have a good feel, you don't have good rhythm, and you don't have good pace, the horse will take advantage of that for sure, and I think that's what happened there.
I think for Leandro Silva, I think he's got his hands full. Watch him there going into the rail. Maybe he's got some speed going. He's got a little bit better rhythm now.
Going over the last fence, keep your leg on, and he's over. So that's just one stop for Argentina.
It's a bit of a tough round for them. I have a feeling with these excellent horses, these riders. Again, this is the World Cup Finals. These are the top 36 athletes in the world. So, as riders, there are no slouches out here.
Absolutely no slouches, and what a lot of people don't understand is that you only have 20 minutes to get to know this horse, and like any other living thing, it's a relationship between the horse and the athlete. Sometimes they get along, sometimes they don't, and it's really hard to judge because, like you said, all these horses are amazing, all the riders are incredible athletes, and so it's just about the relationship and how well you can bond with that horse in 20 minutes. And let me tell you, as an athlete, it's not easy.
Well, you're right, Margot. Like any relationship, like a coach and athlete relationship, for example.
Perfect example, Rob. Relationships are difficult indeed.
This is going to bring us Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, the next team in the arena. And we are going to see Elena Potapenko and her teammate, Pavel Ilyushenko. They'll be riding Plastic and Kapshovar.
I know Elena, I've only seen her at a couple competitions, but from what I've seen, she has an amazing combined, and she's also a very strong swimmer as well. I think that she's new to fencing and riding, but she seems to be holding her own and is obviously quite brave. And her teammate, Ilyushenko, I've seen him around. He's an incredible athlete as well, and looks like they've made a good team here today.
Yes, and again, these are the top 10 teams. It's like they ride into that corner there, and then they have to pull out. They need to ride on a better arc. Again, the top 10 teams, we were in reverse order, so Kazakhstan's actually seated in position number 8.
So they ride from the last team to the first team. So the last riders in the ring will be the team currently leading the competition.
And we've got the exchange, nice pass. And Margaret, let me ask this: when you do an exchange, because I know you've done the relays many times, are you trying to do the perfect exchange, like let's say a swimming relay start, or are you waiting till that tail crosses the line? What do you think about on the exchange?
So for me, you know, I'll try to work out with my teammate. For example, like I'm gonna go to the right when I finish because as a female, I always start first in the mixed relay, and my teammate, ideally, by the time my tail, the horse I'm riding finishes, my teammate will want to be already starting, so you don't lose any time points. That being said, your teammate doesn't want to start before you finish because that's a penalty.
Ilyushenko here is doing a great job. And there we go for Kazakhstan. It's amazing how fast. I didn't see any faults from my position, but that doesn't. Let's wait for the judges' scores, and we'll see what we've got.
Like you were saying earlier, what beautiful horses, Rob. It's really incredible. It's warm out there today. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. You can see the horses are a little hot, but they're really amazing animals.
Well, there we have it. We have a clean round for Kazakhstan, so
300 points.
we were fortunate enough to see another clean round. So we've had 3 teams go: Mexico, Argentina, and Kazakhstan, and we've had 2/3. 2 of the 3 have ridden for 300. So that's a good start.
A really good start, especially given that actually in the test ride, some of these horses had poles down, one had a stop, so you can see the pentathletes today are riding quite well.
And this is going to bring in the team from the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic will be represented by Natalie Dianova and the great Olympic champion from the London 2012 Games, David Svoboda. They will be riding Guerre and Default.
You know, it's interesting. I had the opportunity of training in the Czech Republic with the Czech team and talk about really amazing, welcoming people and incredible athletes. You know, as you mentioned, David Svoboda won the 2012 Olympic Games, and some might remember that he actually was on course to win the 2008 Olympic Games. He unfortunately had a bad ride there and fell back, but he got his redemption in London, had an incredible ride there, really an incredible competition, and he's really a humble, incredible person in addition to being an amazing athlete.
You know, interesting enough, the horses that they drew, which were where they are up on Default and Guerre, Default actually had 4 rails down in the test ride, and Guerre only had 1. So we'll see. I'm guessing they're going to put Svoboda on the more difficult horse.
It appears to be so. Natalie is a great rider. We'll see how she rides this horse here today. Beautiful horse. Very willing to jump, it looks like.
I mean, what a perfect day it is out here in Minsk, Belarus. You know, I was here 25 years ago, and the changes are just extraordinary. Then they chipped in there on that fence, but she's got them well in hand.
She does. She's very soft with her hands, and she seems like she feels the horse well. So although, like you said, they chipped in, she seems like she went with the horse, and she's not making it more difficult for him to do his job.
I got to say, the level of skill with pentathlon riding has really come up in the last few years, and now it's fair to say that a number of our top pentathletes are really professional riders.
Absolutely, you have to be. It seems like a shame to do all that training. You know, we train so hard in the other events, and then to have it all swept away by a bad ride is definitely not worth it. So you see the horse having some issues here. You saw before they came into the ring, it looked like he was having a rough time with this horse. It just seems like the horse is shutting down.
Well, that's the in gate there, and so I think he really wanted to. I think he wants to leave the arena, to be honest with you.
He does. He looks like he's just not feeling it today. And as I mentioned, David is really an incredible rider, so I think this is definitely no fault of his.
They rang the bell, so they're going to reset that jump. I'm not sure that's the place to put him over by the gate, but David probably knows better than I. Again, these really are tremendous horses. I saw the schooling. We are here, and the opening ceremonies, they had the national team out, performing dressage. Okay, he's got it. Yep.
You know, I think after they got away from this corner, like you said, I think the horse is definitely wanting to go home. So I think now you're going to see they're going to be better on course. The horse seems like he's paying attention now, and he seems like he's more willing to pay attention.
And David's riding much more aggressively. You see his seat. He's really dropped a rail there, but he's which comes with riding aggressively, actually. But he needs to, because with that stop. And there we go. That actually was a really great ride on a very difficult horse.
It was a very difficult horse, and like you said, I think David rode that horse definitely the best he could. Sometimes horses just shut down, and there's nothing you can do.
And that's an interesting comment, Margot. We all, you're from a generation after me. I know when I competed, for example, in the Seoul Olympics in '88, the horses were really marginal at those games in particular, and it ended up being a real lottery. And I sat there in the stands. I made a decision to go on to Barcelona based on knowing that it could happen again. But I still trained, and so here we are. We're going to welcome in Guatemala. This is the team of Sofia Hernandez and Jorge Imeri. Sofia's on course, and the horses are Iscora and Zagada.
Sophia is another really young athlete that has a lot of promise. I think the world should definitely be looking out for her. I've seen her this past year just really blossom as an athlete, and she's definitely one to watch in the coming years. They just had one stop there. You could see the horse a couple strides before the fence looking at it, and you could tell he wasn't keen on going over that fence.
You know, the Guatemalan athletes in particular are typically very good riders. It's nice. She does that corner well, which caused several teams some problems. They come from the people who ride and are in Guatemala. Sofia, for example, is from one of those families. So by the time they get into this sport, they have a great deal of experience in show jumping.
I think a lot of the athletes in South America and also, North America come from what we call pony club. They have something called tetrathlon, which is basically pentathlon without the fencing. And so you see a lot of athletes coming up through those pipelines.
So far, so good. I mean, she had the one stop, but she got him in hand. Now we've got her teammate on course, where we've got Jorge Imeri, who did quite well in the bonus round, which was the event just prior to this. Nicely done on the corner.
Ride so far, good pace, good rhythm. Very cute horse.
So we'll see here. We've got
Over the last fence.
and
we're
there we go.
good.
So we've got Guatemala, who's sitting in 6th place.
Just one stop.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
No, one stop is 10 seconds in the combined, which, is a lot of time to try to make up out there, but definitely can be done. And all in all, I'd say that's a good ride for Guatemala.
Margo, you're one of the best combined athletes in the world. So when you're out there on that course, are you, and let's say you pull a rail, are you thinking, oh my goodness, there went 7 seconds?
I try not to think about the points in any event that I do, and I try not to think about the position. We always say to try to focus on the process. So one fence at a time, one touch at a time, and one shot at a time. So when I'm out there on a horse, I'm trying to actually enjoy myself. I love riding. It's definitely nerve-wracking, especially when you're on a horse that you don't feel as comfortable on, or your whole competition is on the line. But I just try to take it one fence at a time and try to focus on what I need to do and let the end result be where it may.
And this will bring in the team from Egypt, who are currently in 5th position. This will be Heidi Morsi on course, and her teammate is Omar El Jaziri. The horses they'll be riding are Traditia and California.
Talk about young athletes to look out for. This is another one. Heidi is incredible. She's has a lot of promise in fencing. She's a great runner, and she's coming along in the other disciplines as well. So it'll be great to see what she accomplishes in the next few years. Her teammate here, Omar El Jaziri, actually trains in Colorado Springs with the U.S. team. He's an incredible fencer. I mean, he holds his own against the fencers. So he's definitely an amazing athlete, and unfortunately here today he's sick, but they seem to be doing quite well, all things considered. So we'll have to see how they place at the end of the day.
Well, Heidi's got a good round going for her here.
She does, for sure. I know that she's only been riding for a very short time, so she's definitely got to be happy with that ride.
Absolutely. This will put Omar El Jaziri on course. Omar's it's interesting in riding. This is the one event where the shorter you are, you have a bit of an advantage. Like a jockey is the best way to explain it. Tall guys tend to have a high center of gravity. You typically have to lean. Looks like he's really having to push that horse.
Definitely, but he's doing a very good job. You can see he's sitting back, he's driving with his seat, and so far so good. Definitely better pace now. Got a little left behind on that fence, but he seemed to go with the horse, so no harm, no foul.
Exactly, and that's the pentathlon tradition, because it doesn't have to be pretty.
It definitely doesn't have to be pretty. You just got to get the job done. And sometimes it's not, but like you said, it's just about getting through the course.
You bring them to the center of the fence, you put your legs on them, and they will go over it with,
Team Egypt,
we say hook them and send them, and a wing and a prayer. So this is going to bring in the next team. The next team, we're sitting in 4th position, so we only have 4 teams remaining of the top 10 teams in the world in this World Cup final here from Minsk, Belarus. This will bring in the team from Korea. Korea is represented by Mina Zhang and Woon Tae Jun. They'll be riding Sikrian and Zakat.
I saw this young man in Hungary, and he was flying on the course. I don't know that he missed a shot in the combined. I think he finished 5th or 6th. I'm not exactly sure on the final position, but he's an incredible athlete. Mina has been around for a long time. She's a good fencer. She's a great swimmer, and also a very good shooter. So I'll be interested to see how the combined plays out today. I think it's definitely going to be a fight till the end.
So on course is Mina Zhang. Now the 2 horses that they've got, Zakat and Sikrian, between them they only had 1 knockdown in the schooling round. So they've drawn well.
You know, I have to say, Rob, I mentioned it before, but I've seen a lot of these horses had some problems there in the test ride, and the pentathletes are riding very well here today. So I'm proud for our sport, and I'm proud of all the athletes here. You can tell that they've definitely been working and incredible riders here.
You know, I've talked to a lot of elite equestrians over the years, and I always get the same comment. I mean, the challenge for this is to take a horse they've never ridden before, and imagine if you were driving a car, to put it where people can understand, having to get in a car. Oh, it pulls a rail there.
Wow.
Well, that's tough. Tripped up
A
there.
little too fast.
But imagine driving a car, getting 20 minutes to try to get the handling right, and then going out on a Grand Prix Formula One course. That's what you're talking about. It is not an easy thing to do. Not for anybody. So he recovered here. That was just a simple trip.
He did. He recovered, and sometimes that's the key. I've actually had a quite bad horse accident where my horse tripped right before the fence, and he tried to catch himself, but of course we couldn't, and we ended up somersaulting over the fence. All was fine. The horse and I both walked away well, but definitely, accidents happen, and the horse and the rider both recovered very well. So I'm impressed by that round.
Very well done. Very well done. You know, he just that little trip up, I believe, on the second fence and pulls the rail. I'll bet you let's see what the score is, but I think it's going to be fairly good.
I'd say just that one rail, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep,
Again,
293. So that's 7 seconds in the combined for that one rail, but all in all, I'd say that was a good ride.
now this is going to bring in the next team. We bring in the team from Russia. Now they're a crowd favorite. They're sitting in third position. The team will be represented by Ekaterina Kuroskina. She'll be coming first, and her teammate is Ilya Shugarov.
Both great fencers. I saw them fence in the ladder today. I don't think they were as successful in the ladder, but I know that both of them always fence quite well in the individual rounds.
And they will be riding Tequila and Liberal.
Tequila, that's a fun name for a horse.
That's a great name. We all support Tequila.
Going along, very steady pace. Horse looks very willing to jump the fences, which is
Very,
always nice.
Very nice corner there.
You talk about how difficult it is to ride different horses, but by the same token, I've ridden some really amazing horses, and it's such an opportunity. It's such a pleasure when you really mesh with a horse and you go out and you have a clean round, or maybe not a clean round, but you enjoy the ride. And this horse looks like a horse I would enjoy riding.
To me, I hear the crowd out there. It's amazing. The Russians get a great reception here. To that point, Margot, it's a little bit like a marriage, right? You draw this horse, and you're either going to get along and it's going to be magic, or you may have some
Bumps
issues.
in the road.
Yeah, bumps in the road, and maybe even a divorce.
Divorce, as long as you divorce at the end of the course.
Right. So here we are. We've got Shugarov on course. Oh, it pulls a rail. It's their first rail as a team.
Oh, the second rail just fell. Looks like the horse is just a little lazy with his hind end.
Yeah, it just seems sloppy to me.
Yep, it actually, it's interesting because from my vantage point here, the lines look a little wobbly. The horse, maybe he's green, or maybe he's just a little nervous out on course, but the horse definitely wasn't going in a straight line to any of those fences, which is hard to get your composure over the fences when your horse is wibble wobbling.
So there, it looks like they're going to have a score.
In Russia, 1 minute.
I'd say
23
2
seconds.
rails, so
Obstacle
14
penalty,
seconds in the
14.
combined.
286. They got a pentathlon score of 286, which, granted, is not as good as these several clean rounds that we've had. But on the other hand, they're a great running team. 14 seconds can easily be made up.
They're both great combined athletes. I think swimming is their weakest event, and they made it through that. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do in the combined.
Now this brings in the next team representing Ireland. We have Natalia Coyle on course.
I don't want to jinx anything, but I have to say that the Irish are usually, Tal and Arthur are both two of the best pentathlon riders I've seen. They both come from strong riding backgrounds, and not only are they successful, but they're also, of course I shouldn't have spoken so soon.
That's the curse of the announcer.
The curse of the announcer. I'll just keep my mouth shut on this one. You can see Tal is really working to keep this horse over the fences, but he's just not cooperating.
Yeah, and their horses, again, are going to be Elegia and Piskaya. And they had 3 rails, but Piscaya pulled 3. And Elegia just had the 1 knockdown, so I believe we're looking at Piscaya up here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Natalia Coyle on course, having her hands full. But you're right, you know, the Irish have a great riding tradition in their country.
Absolutely.
Some of the best, you know, the beautiful green fields there, and these athletes come from that background. And here she goes. She'll do her handoff to Arthur Lanigan O'Keefe.
You see she was really working to keep her leg on. You could actually see her kicking the horse over the fence. So.
And it's extraordinary to watch the success of the Irish. I mean, for a pentathlon country for 10 years ago, was very sparse, shall we say. They were very challenged in the sport. Now they're some of the leaders.
Absolutely, especially as a team. I know that they've had a lot of success in the mixed relay. I believe 2 silver medals at the World Cups this year. You know, Lindsay Whedon, now Lindsay Byrne, actually was a great athlete for Great Britain, and she moved to Ireland, and I think she had a lot to do with how the program is bolstered in the last couple of years.
So again, Ireland sitting in position number 2. The points. Let's see what we get here for the Irish team. Interestingly enough, only 1 point. The Irish have a total coming into this arena with 595 points. They were 30 points ahead of 3rd place, but they're only 1 point behind our leaders. And you're going to hear a big roar here in just a moment as they introduce the host country, Belarus. And there it goes. And there goes the cheer.
We're a little ways away from the stand, but you can still hear the cheers.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing more exciting, let me tell you, and somewhat nerve-wracking competing in your home country when you hear the crowds of the spectators, and you know that gives you that extra push and also adds a little extra nerve. So we'll see how they handle it here today, but it's definitely an experience to be had competing in your home turf.
So first rider on course representing Belarus is Katarina Arol. She'll be up on Dakharat, and her teammate she'll hand off to is Ilya Palaskov. He will be riding Denver, familiar to us.
Denver, Colorado. I go for a Denver omelet right now.
Well, we'll wait till after Sunday, Margot.
Yeah.
So, here we go. So he's on. She is doing well. Again, only 1 point separated Russia or Belarus from Ireland, although
Ireland with those 2 stops, I'm sure they will have fallen. You probably see Egypt move up. Probably be starting in second, assuming.
Ooh,
little slippery.
You know,
through that corner.
They're riding on grass, and the horses they're not wearing studs in their shoes. Look at that. So she did well. She recovered well from that slip, and now you've got Palaskov on course.
Oh.
And it was great. They won the. We've got to stop there. Oh.
You could see the approach to the fence was just entirely incorrect, but. Let's see how well he can recover.
You know, and I just can't say enough good things about the Belarus people. They've turned out in droves, and the organizing committee has done just such a fine job.
You can see the spectators. Everyone's so excited to have us here. You know, little children came up. They were waving. Like you said, Rob, the organization is incredible. The Belarusian pentathletes have always been so kind.
They've got a stop and a rail. But, you know, in their case, they just need to avoid a disaster. It looks like they're going to do that.
Yeah, well, like you said, we don't want to jinx it too soon, but
they've got it. They've got it. This is going to be very interesting. Let's see what the judges say. Points.
They will have definitely lost some time. I think it looks like Egypt is going to be starting in first position for sure. Probably followed by Russia and Korea.
Team Belarus, 1 minute 39 seconds. Obstacle penalty 17. Riding points 283.
So they had a couple of rails.
Correction, they might be starting in first. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, they dropped 17 points. So exactly, we'll get the overall standings here shortly. But that was how fast was that? You know, we had 10 teams from the mixed relay, the top 10 teams in the world competing here today. It's going to be a little different story here day after tomorrow as we approach the men's final where the top 36 males in the world compete. And then, of course, the next day on Sunday, Margot will be able to watch you.
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope everybody comes back and is cheering for your home nation and hopefully cheering for me as well.
Yeah, and Margot, just to blow your horn a little bit, you know, you had those 2 World Cup silver medals this year. You're ranked in the top 2, number 1 in the world for the World Cup final.
World Cup
Coming into the
ranking,
World
yeah.
Cup final, the UIPM has a World Cup ranking, and you are number 1 in the world. And that was some great commentary here. So you've been there, done that, and we couldn't ask for more. Would you like to have a couple of comments before we sign off and get ready for the combine?
Oh gosh, no, it's just like I said, it's really been amazing to be here. The organizers have been absolutely incredible. To be honest, I'm really excited. I'm ready to compete. I've been here since Tuesday, and especially being here and watching the mixed relay, I'm super pumped up. We have a lot of amazing athletes coming in, a lot of amazing men and a lot of amazing female athletes. So you guys will have to stay tuned. You're in for a real show here in the combined. I think everybody's going to be really close, so it's going to be one heck of a run.
Yeah, we've got the top 3 teams in going into the final event. The final event is the combined event, which combines running and laser shooting. We've got Belarus up front, followed by Russia, and then followed by Ireland, is what I saw before they took it off my screen.
Yeah, I couldn't see fast enough either, but everybody stay tuned. I guarantee it'll be a good show.
Yes, absolutely. The combined event will start in about 30 minutes. So come back to your screens and check it out. Again, it is a wonderful day. Can't say enough about the Belarusian people, or the Belarus people, I should say, and the organizers and the athletes and the fans. It's just been a wonderful experience for everybody. And this was the first day of what's going to be a great week.
I couldn't say it better, Rob. Everybody stay tuned, and we'll see you here again shortly. Oh my God. Yeah, is it okay?
Yes, very good.